Hello everyone, Dino Films here, and today I wanted to make a scene build in Garry's mod to celebrate the 10-year anniversary of Five Nights at Freddy's. So I just decided to load in on this map in Gmod. It's the Five Nights at Freddy's events map, made by a very talented creator. Sorry, I completely forgot the name, but all the creators involved in this project did a really well done job, I'll say. These done some updates since the last time I looked at this map about a year ago, I think, about last summer, and they made the map even better, I think, in almost every way. So it's very neat. I recommend you check it out and play with it, but I just wanted to use it as the base for the scene build. I experimented with a lot of different things for this build while I was just going along. I decided to just use the classic for animatronics. For this is a celebration of specifically that game, but I guess it's a celebration of the 10 years of Five Nights at Freddy's. You'll hear some very familiar music in this video. All the songs will be in the description below, as well as the mods and models I used. I used several parts from several different add-ons for this build. So Five Nights at Freddy's has been a big part of, I guess, my entire existence, to put it in a cringy way, I guess. But Five Nights at Freddy's was kind of one of the first horror games that I got into, outside of games like Slendy Tubbies and Aoani and other games that mainly Markiplier played. But I remember seeing this game being played by Markiplier, and I thought it was just like a bunch of like dolls or something. And it didn't really interest me, but I decided to check out, the first episode, and sure enough, it was killer animatronics, which I found really, really captivating, and I really liked the atmosphere of this first game, especially the first game. Um, the atmosphere in some of the other games, like the second and third game, I like too. Fourth game, all the games have something, special about them, I think. But this first game really, struck with me, and I made a lot of random videos when this channel was in its infancy. This channel is about to be 11 years old, and I made a lot of like Five Nights at Dino Kells and other random. I tried to make my own like Five Nights at Freddy's fan game. I was really inspired by just this game series, and I really liked just the characters, and I really liked just how they were able to utilize them. And it just sort of ran from there. This community is insane. Just how fast it's grown over the 10 years. Starting off as just like a simple indie game, skyrocketing into the stratosphere. We got like 4 games within like not even 2 years, right? Or about 2 years. Incredible. My favorite Five Nights at Freddy's game might be the first, but not necessarily for the gameplay, but just sort of what it means to me, as well as just the atmosphere of the game and the characters it introduced. But I really like the first 4 games, especially. Those are probably my favorite. That's when I was in my height with the Five Nights at Freddy's craze, and, I was just completely eating that stuff up. Sister Location, I've grown to like a lot more over time. When it first came out, I didn't like it at all. And gameplay-wise, it's a little repetitive if you not for subsequent playthroughs. However, I would say that the characters have really grown on me. Pizzeria Simulator is probably towards the bottom of my list. I think my least favorite's probably Security Breach. I think they really improved upon many of the aspects with Security Breach Ruin. I think Ruin is such an improvement over Security Breach. And it's just so kind of crazy to think that Scott Cawthon is no longer, in charge of the game in its entirety anymore. You got the Five Nights at Freddy's movie just last year. The second movie is set to release next year, at the time of recording this, December 5th, 2025. Obviously we got games like Help Wanted 2, Security Breach, Special Delivery, and Ruin through outsourcing. And in a couple of days, or maybe the day I upload this, we caught a freaking new Five Nights at Freddy's game, Into the Pit, which I think is a breath of fresh air for sure in terms of, gameplay and visual style. It takes a 16-bit approach. I was not expecting this game, and I was not expecting it to like it so much, especially since the books. I haven't even talked about the books yet. I wasn't really interested in reading them because I thought some of the stories were just a little wacky, but as I've grown older and watched a lot more horror content, I realized just how much of a love letter a lot of these books and stories are in regards to other horror movies, horror properties, and just horror concepts. I've grown to appreciate them a bit more. There's some of the stories that are, a little weird to say the least. But some of them are really good, and I do like them. It's just crazy to me that one game that started off as sort of almost a response to, some hate comments and hateful behavior from critics and gamers towards Scott Cawthon's earlier works on his websites, led into this huge multi-million-dollar franchise. It's kind of inspiring in a way, seeing an indie developer create such an empire in this regard. I think we're going to keep going with Five Nights at Freddy's for at least 10 more years, I would imagine. I mean, who knows? This thing could last for, become ingrained in horror history, which I think it already has. But, certain franchises have really stood the test of times, like Halloween, Friday the 13th, Evil Dead, the franchises that have really stuck along and have seen subsequent remakes and games, and I think Five Nights at Freddy's is no different. It has a lot of entries already in its 10 years that it's been around, and I'm excited for the future. As the time of this recording, Five Nights at Freddy's just got its first major collab with another game. It's gonna be Dead by Daylight, which is insane to me. So, and we're getting so many more, looks at different games and the movie. We've seen a lot of animatronic images so far, so it's looking bright for Fnaf for the future. The Scott Cawthon interview just came out yesterday at the time of recording this, but this might be a few days later. Scott Cawthon answered a lot of good questions, and he seems very hopeful for the future. So here I am, just finishing up some of the final touches, and here are some of the final screenshots I took. I really enjoyed making this scene build. I think it's, one of my favorite games is Five Nights at Freddy's. It's been something that stuck with me ever since I was a kid, and I, get back into it every once in a while. If you want to see more scene builds in Five Nights at Freddy's for some reason, just let me know, and there will definitely be more in the future. But thank you all for watching this, and I'll see you all in the next video, which will probably be a Godzilla x Kong scene build. I've gotten a few requests, so stay tuned for that. But thank you all for watching. Happy 10-year anniversary of the Five Nights at Freddy's, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.